Good morning, students. We were discussing the end of bipolarity, second chapter, and today I think this will be the last class of this chapter. Today we'll discuss the conclusion of this chapter. So, when we have started this chapter, we have discussed that the disintegration of. First of all, we have discussed what was the Soviet system, how the Soviet system established, how with how many countries, and what were the systems like. There was a socialist system, communism was there. Then we discussed about Gorbachev and the disintegration, how Gorbachev was responsible for the disintegration because his reform was very slow. Then we discussed Boris Yeltsin after he emerged as a hero in Russia, how three countries, Russia, Ukraine and Belarus, got independence from Soviet Russia. Then we have discussed why Soviet Union disintegrated. There were many reasons like economic reason, administrative reasons, Gorbachev's reform, and the rise of nationalism. Means the countries whichever were part of Soviet Russia, they wanted independence from Soviet Russia. Then we have discussed consequences of disintegration. Consequences were first of all, this was the end of the Cold War. Second, there was only one superpower remains, that is US. And the third was every other country, whichever were the parts of the Soviet Russia, they wanted to have a very good relation with the Western country. They wanted to remain a part of NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, or many international organization. Then we have discussed shock therapy. Shock therapy was the change from communism to capitalism, the process that is called shock therapy, because this was a shock for the common people, and because of this shock therapy was one of the process of the disintegration. During the process of disintegration, this shock therapy has been applied in USSR, and this shock therapy was one of the most important reason for the disintegration of USSR. There were many consequences of shock therapy. We have discussed economic disaster, currency decline, poverty, people have been put into poverty. Then democracy has been completely ignored. When there was the constitution was drafted, they did not give it much thought. So the whole power has been given to the president. So democracy has been completely destroyed because of the shock therapy only. After 10 years, Russia started to little bit rebuild itself. Industries were manufacturing and all. Now within this period, this is the conclusion of the chapter. So disintegration and shock therapy, with that time there was so many tensions and conflict between the member countries of the Soviet Russia. Most of the former Soviet republics are prone to conflict, and many have civil war and insurgencies, complicating the picture of the growing involvement of outside power. Because of the shock therapy, or because of the process of transmission from communism to capitalism, there was outside forces like the Western power. They were now they involving themselves in the internal matter of the Soviet Russia, because the member country of Soviet Russia seek help from the Western countries. So in Soviet Russia, there were almost 15 other countries. So in all 15 other countries, there were so many insurgencies, civil war. The countries which ever wanted independence, like for example, in Russia, two republics have had violent secessionist movement. At that time, indiscriminate military bombings have led to many human rights violations. Bombings were there, civil wars were there, military has been involved, Western power has been involved. When they were demanding for nationalism, they themselves started to quarrel with each other. They themselves have a conflict between the member countries. They were demanding freedom. The struggle of freedom, we all of us have a very good knowledge of freedom struggle, right? Because we are from India, and we have learned a lot about our freedom strugglers, our leaders, each and every other country, whoever got their freedom, it's become a difficult one. So similar is the case with Soviet Russia. So many countries have to pay a lot for their independence, for their nationalism. There were so many civil wars, there were so many bombings, there were so many losses of lives, so many losses of properties and everything. One example was Central Asia. Central Asia has also become a zone of competition. Now this Central Asia, this was also a member of Soviet Russia. Now this Central Asia become the center of conflict between other countries. There are each and every countries have their own selfish interests. Like in Central Asia, US wanted to have a huge military base. US wanted to control Central Asia. Then Russia have its own own selfish interests. Russia wanted to have Russian influence over Central Asia. And China has its interest in oil resources, because Central Asia is rich in oil resources. So China have its own this own interest. So there were so many civil wars, like the outside world, right? The outsiders, like the Western countries like USA, China, they also have been involved in the civil war. They are getting the benefit from this civil war. So this is the tension and conflict during the disintegration of USSR. Now we will discuss India's role in USSR. India has maintained a good relationship with all the post-communist countries, but the strongest relation are still those between Russia and India. India and Russia have a very good relationship. India's relation with Russia are an important aspect of India's foreign policy. So this is one of the foreign policy of India, also to make a very good relation with Russia. India and Russia also have a friendship treaty. They signed a friendship treaty of 20 years, right? So and Russia, people used to hear Bollywood songs. They like Bollywood movies. Even Raj Kapoor, from Raj Kapoor to Amitabh Bachchan, they are the heroes of Russia. In every household we can hear their songs and all. The Russian people used to like Indian people. So Russia and India have a very good relation. Both of them had their interest, but right now more than 80 bilateral agreements has been signed between Russia and India. Okay, and Indo-Russian strategic agreement has also been signed in 2001. India has its own benefit from Russia. India wanted to use this relationship on the issues like Kashmir. India has a very serious issue with Kashmir, right? So Russia was helping India and India was utilizing this relationship. Energy supplies, Russia used to supply energies in India, and also India is utilizing this relationship and balancing its relationship with China. Now Russia also has its own interest in having a good relation with India, because India was one of the largest market for Russia, arms market. India used to get most of its hardware from the military from Russia. So Russia did not want to lose that market. And India is an oil importing nation. India has to depend upon other countries for the oil, and Russia is important to India. And Russia has helped many times in India when there was an oil crisis. So Russia is important for India and for nuclear energy also, because we needed help from Russia in nuclear energy. Russia and India have collaborated on various scientific projects also. Both Russia and India have so many projects together. So India always used to have a very good relationship with Russia. It's one of the foreign policy of India, as well as there are certain benefits for Russia also, for India also. Indian actors, Indian movies, Bollywood movies, they have been watched in Russia. Russian people used to used to they like Indian songs, they like Bollywood movies, they like Bollywood songs, they like Bollywood actors from India. So this is a relationship. India already have a 20 years of friendship with Russia. So this is the end of the chapter, the end of bipolarity. We have discussed everything. I hope all of you are getting my point. All of you are understanding whatever is here in this chapter. If you have any queries, please let me know, because I don't know whether we'll get time to revise this chapter or not. So please, all of you, focus and please give some response in videos also. Okay, in our next class we will discuss our third chapter. We'll start our third chapter, that is US hegemony in world politics. Actually, the chapters which we are discussing are interlinked with each other, right? The first chapter was Cold War. The Cold War started between USA and USSR. The second chapter was the end of bipolarity. That means the result of Cold War. Now we have only one superpower, USA. USSR has been disintegrated. Now the third chapter was the US hegemony in world politics. Hegemony means dominance. Now there was no other superpower, only one superpower. There is no competitor for USA. Now how the USA is dominating the whole world. We will discuss this in our third chapter, that is US hegemony in world politics. Till then, please do read, do write your answer. If you do not understand anything, please let us know, and please I am requesting you all, please watch the full video, I mean from starting to the end. Please watch and do let us know how you feel. If you are having any problem, we are ready to help you. Okay, till then, take care and stay safe.